Coming up this week on The Local Game, we'll take a look at the initiatives done during Gather Round, which saw one of our local clubs cooking up a storm, plus some massive surprises across the weekend in the local leagues. And later on, I'll be heading to Cooper Stadium where I catch up with a special guest from Adelaide United. That's all to come, plus more, in today's episode of The Local Game. Welcome to The Local Game for episode 8. We are finally there. It's jumper time. It's almost winter. It's getting freezing outside, and I'm hoping you're nice and warm, cozied up, watching today's episode. And there's something cozy about winter because you're snuggled up on the couch, but there's something cozy about the voice of my next guest. David Grant makes you feel just as comfortable as a cozy, warm wood oven, doesn't it?
What an introduction, eh? Oh, how am I going to follow that up? Good to be here, Johnny. Thanks for the invite, finally.
Yeah, it's taken a while. It's taken almost 2 months, but you finally made it to the hot seat.
Yes, and what a hot seat it is. I'm following in the footsteps of some mighty guests, aren't I?
Some big guests there have been so far this season, but none much like you. We've spent a lot of time together, almost, was it 5 or 6 years together now since the Hills Radio days?
Yeah, we have. I mean, it started off for us. Our relationship began quietly, and who knew what was to come? So 5 or 6 years ago in radio. So,
yeah, and
here we are.
And before it was behind the camera. Now we're getting in front of the camera.
That's the big time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, we got a lot to get through today. A big episode. A lot of football to talk about. But let's go straight into the hot topics. Let's take a look at some things that happened on the weekend. A massive thing which happened in South Australia was the Gather Round from the AFL. A huge occasion for AFL. I know this is a soccer show, a football show, but it was great because one of our local clubs, Mount Barker United, they had a stall at the Mount Barker game and were cooking up sausages. So a great way to fundraise at a game. A great initiative from the local council. Yeah,
absolutely. And obviously big crowds there as well. They might as well take advantage of them, even if they're there to watch a sport other than ours. But good on the club as well for getting their act together and getting out there and, as you said, cooking up a storm.
Yeah, cooking up a storm. The sausages were good. Saturday were great. Our boy Alessio was out there on Saturday on the Sunday cooking up the sausages. Yeah. But I noticed they were a little bit more burnt on Sunday. So
it's been done the Karachi way.
Yeah, they're a little bit crunchy.
Oh, very
Alessio
good.
Karachi.
Oh, you see it all night.
But let's move on to Alessio. Next topic as well. Well, it was fantastic, as I would say, that to be able to do those fundraisers. So hats off to the organisers for doing that and getting Mount Barker United that extra bit of fundraising for them as well. So, but the next hot topic as well is our boy Alessio. Let's go back to him. His first senior goal. He's a regular co-host in the chair here, so we've got to mention him. But he's finally got his senior goal for Mount Barker United, and well, it wasn't an exciting goal, but at least he got it.
Absolutely. Look, he's lethal from 3 or 4 feet out. He's put the ball away there with some aplomb, and then made his way off to the corner in the celebration. Needs to work on that a little bit, I think, in training. But it was good to see him getting his first senior goal.
Yeah, well, he's worked a lot on his celebrations during the preseason in regards to the photos that they did, but didn't think about the scoring a goal celebration because there was nothing too fancy in that. He's got to get some inspiration from Iran Kunta, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to work in at least some handstands or something.
Yeah. Maybe he can pretend he's cooking up a snag, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, and finally, the last one as well, the last hot topic is the Women's Community League kicked off on the weekend, and FC Summit, a team that's up your way as well in the Adelaide Hills, started their first season in that Women's Community League as well.
Yeah, so this is the first year that they've had a women's team at FC Summit. They started off with a 10-0 win in round 1, so this is the third tier in the state, one below the State League, although they're FC Summit, I think, are in Division 2. They did a 10-0 win, 4 goals for Ash Hancock and 2 goals each for Holly Carroll and Tina Cantwell, who are well-known names in the Hills.
Yeah, they were up in the Women's State League last year for Adelaide Hills Hawks, who unfortunately are not there this year. But a great thing to see them there, and also a familiar face scoring. And former NPL player Matt Halliday scoring for FC Summit as well.
Yeah, they had a game against Southern Breakers. They lost 3-2, unfortunately. So Luke Hancock, Ash's husband, he scored first, and then Halliday got the second. So they lost 3-2, but Halliday's off the mark.
He is. Well, let's move into the NPL now, the RA NPL SA. Round 6. I can't believe we're that far into it already. I say that every week, but it's going so quick. I can't believe it. But round 6 did not disappoint. LA Comets, unfortunately, had a great run up until round 5 where they couldn't succumb to FK Belgrade, but they couldn't get past the Raiders either. What a great win by Raiders, and they're just very much surprising us every week, aren't they?
They are, yeah. They maybe had a slow start, or a slower start than we were expecting, but they've picked up now. And Comets, they had a great start. I mean, after 3 or 4 games, I think they'd only conceded 1 lead goal against Para Hills in maybe round 3. I'm not saying the wheels have fallen off, but certainly a few surprising results over the last couple of weeks. They've lost 2 now and they've dropped off the top spot.
Well, Paul Radic scored a hat-trick on the weekend. He would be happy that he scored that because in 2 weeks' time, he's coming up against his old side in FK Belgrade. So that is going to be an interesting one. They're a team that's struggling a little bit. Para Hills, that game was hard to watch, to be honest. Wasn't the most exciting game, but I don't think it's all doom and gloom for FK Belgrade, but they've got to try and fix up because they have a really good game the week before with 10 men, and then following it up 6 days later, they just struggle to do anything special in that game.
Yeah, so Josh Kavanagh, the goalkeeper for FK Beograd, had a blinder 2 weeks ago. He's kept them in the game. They were reduced to 10 men after Jakobsen was sent off, but they still came away with a 1-0 win. Kavanagh was amazing that week. And then this week, they've lost 3-0 to Para Hills Knights, so he's conceded 3 the following week. So back down to earth.
It's disappointing for them, I know they did, but what a great win for Para Hills Knights as well to be able to do that. A team that I think a lot of people had towards the lower end of the table, but the way they're going, I reckon they could keep themselves up. Another team that is struggling, which I was hoping not to get relegated, but it's not looking good early on, is Olympic. They are struggling at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and obviously a loss this week to Adelaide United, which will set them back again, and Adelaide United now off the bottom. So, tough times for Olympic.
Austin Ayubi getting the winner in that fixture as well against...
left it late.
Yep. Let's also talk to someone else. Let's talk about someone else who's lighting up the league as well. Ren Nagamatsu. Now he's shining a bit more without Temakovsky there.
Yeah.
But 6 goals from 6 appearances. Yep. 3 of those came on the weekend.
That's right. So he's living a boy's adventure tale, isn't he? So he started the season off, and I think a lot of people were wondering how he was going to go in the absence of his strike partner, Temakovsky, who's gone to Marconi, obviously. But Ren Nagamatsu has really stepped up, hasn't he? And scored, as you say, 6 league goals in 6 games. He's scored a couple of others in friendlies and maybe one in a cup as well. So he's certainly got his shooting boots on, hasn't he? And finding the net regularly.
There were a lot of great fixtures that weekend. Absolutely loved it to watch all that football. Some Saturday afternoon fixtures, which is always a lot of fun. And Friday nights, I'm really enjoying these Friday night games.
Yeah, well, actually, I didn't get out to a game on Friday night. I went down and played some futsal myself, and what's that, like 4 or 5 days ago now, and I'm still recovering.
Well, we'll give you some more time to recover during this ad break, David. We'll be back on the other side once he recovers from his ankle soreness.
Knees.
Yep, from your knee soreness. You go rest your knees. We'll be back very, very soon on the local game. Welcome back to the local game as we get ready to head into the state leagues. Some great results on the weekend. David, good to have you back in the show. And how are you recovering?
Well, I'm feeling a bit better. I've made it past the first ad break, so things are looking good.
Well, we got a little bit more to go, mate. Just don't strain your knee too much as we get into the state leagues now, because we need you for this bit.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Like that one? Need you.
Oh, need.
Anyway.
How much longer?
Well, anyway, let's talk about the games now. Enough about the jokes. Sturt get their first win over struggling Vipers on the weekend. Obviously, that's great for them to try and get some confidence back in.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was really pleased for Sturt and John van der Wieken. If you're out there listening, well done. You must be pleased as punch. I think that's them off the bottom now. Maybe got 4 points. So a great win for Sturt, absolutely, yeah.
Very unfortunate for Vipers though, to still struggling at the moment. But hopefully they can find their form soon enough.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, there are two sides at the bottom who'll go down, and it's unfortunate for them, but that's the whole point of the competition, isn't it? So, yeah, somebody has to finish up down there, but yeah, let's hope they can pick it up. But if they do pick it up, someone else is going to end up taking their place.
Yeah, and two teams that have been doing well this season as well is Fulham and Playford.
Yeah.
Well, Fulham got their first loss on the weekend to Playford, 3-0 loss away from home, and there's also a Penendez hat trick in that one as well.
Right. Yeah. No, he did well there, didn't he, in that game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lastly, Birkalla. We talk about the teams that are doing very well at the top, but one team that we're forgetting about is West Torrens Birkalla, who are 4 from 4, having the hottest streak so far, heading into the round 7 in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're the side that the others will be looking over, the leaders will be looking over their shoulders at, because they've won 4 of their last 4 games. They're the informed side in that league. So yeah, keep your eye on them.
Absolutely. Well, that is some of the great results from the weekend. It's always a league you want to keep your eye on, though, isn't it? We always talk about the NPL. A lot of people go to those NPL games and watch them online, but State League 1 is another league that's still available on FSA League's YouTube page. That one, it just has some games that you just are shocked at the quality in some of those fixtures.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget that State League 1 is the division that has promotion and relegation.
Yeah.
It's the only league in our competition that has both. It's the middle division of 3. So you string a few wins together, you're up in a promotion sort of spot or a finals spot, and if you lose a few in a row, you could be down in the relegation zone. So it's a very exciting league to watch.
Absolutely, and a team that knows that so well is Adelaide Uni, who were up in the State League 1. They've gone back down to State League 2, but they're in a position where they could be going back into State League 1. The way they're going with the first 6 rounds, they're equal top, miles ahead with Cove FC as well. Both just killing it in the State League this year.
Yeah, I think there's a 5-point gap between the top 2 and the team in third, which is, I think, Pontian Eagles at this point in time. They don't play each other until round 11, which isn't till the 18th of May. But yeah, certainly setting the pace, those two. And easing away from the peloton, to use a cycling phrase.
Yeah, the peloton. You know what? I've did some filming for the cycling once, and I still don't understand what the peloton is.
It's just the big group of riders that all hang about together.
Yeah, it's so
you
confusing.
get a couple of guys out the front, and that's your Coven or Adelaide Uni.
Yeah.
Then you've got the peloton, which is led by Pontian Eagles just now and a whole bunch of others.
Okay, but then Cove can go all the way to the back and still be there, can't they?
Yeah.
It's so confusing, the peloton. Let's not bring in cycling. That's why we're talking football. This is a football show. We'll keep it to football. But but yeah, thank you for using a different analogy. I like that.
Yeah, well, the chasing pack.
Yeah, the chasing pack. Well, they are doing it very well. Cove are a very strong side this season, and Uni as well. So I can't wait for their fixture in round 11, which is very interesting because they're going to be meeting each other again the second time round in round 22, which the way it's going, quick for that top spot and that playoff, the promotion spot in the league.
Absolutely, yeah. It'll be an interesting game when that comes around, if those two sides are both in that same position. But the way they're going just now, it looks like that's where they'll possibly end up.
And another team that's doing very well as well for the first 3 rounds in the WSL as we head into that league as well, the Go Sunny Solar Women's State League, is Campbelltown City. 3 wins so far heading into this 4th round, which is coming up this weekend. But how great is that for their start to be able to kick it off with 3 straight wins?
Absolutely. It's the ideal start to your league competition if you've won 3 of your first 3 games and you're setting the pace. Croydon and Fulham are obviously struggling down towards the bottom of the table, but certainly a great start for Campbelltown.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it's a shame about Croydon. The season they're having so far, in a little bit of a sticky situation at the moment with the results not going their way and a landslide defeat. Unfortunately, it's a shame to see this happening to this club, but hopefully they can fix it up soon enough to make it better for the players in that team as well.
Absolutely, we want clubs like Croydon in the competition. So hopefully they see the season through and build on what they can learn from this year and build on that and come back stronger next year. I mean, we're talking about next year already. I mean, the only reason we do that is because they're not going to win the league this year, but they certainly got to be there. We want clubs like that there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to hear from some of your favourite players now with a segment I like to always listen to because it's the players that play in our local league with Kicking It with the Players.
Real estate agent in Adelaide.
I am a primary school teacher, so currently doing relief work for a couple of schools, and really enjoying that. Just graduated from uni, so excited to step into that.
The one thing I do love is that I love helping people. So being able to assist someone with either the sale or the purchase of a big transaction in their life and a big asset is something that really drives me to continue to do it and grow as a professional, because I just love seeing people happy.
Just working with the different kids, different age levels. It's just like a real challenge. No day's the same in teaching. You never know what you're going to really get, and you've got to think on your feet and be proactive, and it's just a challenge and step outside of my comfort zone sometimes.
Always love hearing from our players with Kicking It with the Players. Now I'm about to go chat to someone else. Who am I chatting to?
Well, you're heading down to Highmarsh to speak to one of the players down there, and I'm going to go and make a cup of tea in your mum's kitchen.
I'm down here at Cooper Stadium, the home of Adelaide United, after their final training session ahead of their final home game here at Cooper Stadium for the season 2023-24. I'm here with Ryan Kitto, mate. Not the easiest year for you guys, but you're heading to your final game. It's a lot of anticipation being Nesta's final game. How's the feeling in the change rooms?
Yeah, it's obviously, you're right, it has been a difficult season. We weren't, and still aren't, where we want to be, but we certainly can salvage something out of this season. And, winning the last 3 years, giving this group confidence, and, going into Macarthur tomorrow night, it's basically a 6-point game because they're one of the teams that we want to catch. So we are really excited by it, and we still think we can make something of this year.
Well, I'm excited to talk to you as well, because being the local game as a TV show, we talk a lot of local football, and you're a local boy as well, South Australian, played at Birkalla, couple of stints there as well, back in 2011, and before coming to Adelaide United for a short stint, and then you made your return back to Berks. But that stint at Adelaide United, the first stint, how did that help you and the experience there give you the opportunity and be able to go back into the NPL and have a really good season?
Yeah, I was, I found a home out of the SASI program at Birkalla with Brenton Hearn, Joe Foley, good names who I'd worked with before, and they got me across to Birkalla, and I was there for a number of years and trying to make my way into the youth team, and wasn't successful at first, but eventually found my way into the team. And obviously playing first team football gave me the opportunity to go and play against men, and then transition into the youth team and use that physicality, and having those games behind me really helped me. And I really enjoyed my time with the youth team, and unfortunately it didn't end how I wanted to. I really would have loved to kick on with it and get that first team contract, but it wasn't to be. And there was no better place for me to go back than Birkalla, where I felt comfortable with a lot of good people around me, and get back to loving football and focus on it, and hopefully have a good year and rebuild from there. Well, just at the media press conference with Calvier earlier, we were discussing about this interview, and a lot of people didn't realise that you won the Sergio Milita back in 2015. A great year for you, 17 goals in that season. How was that for you, looking back on it now? How was that season for you at Birkalla to prepare you to get back into the A-League? Yeah, it was thoroughly enjoyable. I love Birkalla, and like Adelaide United, there's a club that means so much to me, and it was nice to get that individual accolade, of course, but I really wanted to bring team success there. And I think the year before, where they just survived relegation, and my good mate Scotty Nagel, who was there, and he loves Birkalla as well, we really wanted to get the club back to where we thought it belonged, and unfortunately we just fell short, losing out to West Adelaide in the end in the preliminary. But I was really proud of the year and how the club progressed, and they gave me the opportunity to play football, to enjoy it, and to express myself, and for that I'll be forever grateful. Well, we see a lot of players who work hard in the local leagues and get the opportunity in the A-League. Some of your current teammates in Lockie Bar and Austin Ayubi, to name a few, have come through the local leagues.
How did that local community at Birkalla help you to prepare yourself to get back to where you wanted to get to?
Yeah, I suppose the most important thing for me at that time was just being in an environment where I felt comfortable and to play games. And, I think that back then it was maybe 26 odd games. So to get the number of games under my belt at a good level, really helped me to develop, because I think sometimes, it's good now Adelaide United are in the NPL competition, because for these young players, they need to be playing games. Unfortunately, back then with the youth team system, once the NYL finished, which was 18 games, you just weren't playing enough football, and that's how you're going to improve. So, it was just the right place for me, the right time to go back to play a lot of games and just enjoy it and develop.
I did mention Austin Ayubi there briefly. His dad is the current president of West Orange Birkalla. So any connection there? Do you still chat to him and keep involved at Birkalla a little bit?
Yeah, so Amin's a great man. He was there when I went back, and still there, and he loves that club. He spends so much time there, and I know he wants to get back into the NPL, and he's doing everything he can. So Austin was young, playing in the juniors when I was there. I remember seeing him, and it's great to see how far he's progressed and how he's taken his opportunity here at Adelaide United and showing that players at the local level are still good enough, and if given the chance, can flourish.
What's one thing you love about local football? Because you're lucky that you're at the only club in South Australia that's professional, but what do you love about the local game and the local community in football in South Australia?
I think it's just a place for everybody to be able to go and share that common interest in football, and all these clubs are wonderful places with really good people and people that just want the best for the game. So I think everyone who speaks about their club speaks about it with passion and with a smile, because I guess it creates another friendship group for you. It's a community, and I still feel the support from Birkalla when I'm playing here. Through the highs and through the lows, there's always people from there still messaging me and helping me out, and it's just a very good place.
That's brilliant. And another thing that one more I want to talk to you about is that wearing the armband. That's a special thing to do that for Adelaide United. And a lot of players have done that in the past. Current Croydon FC coach Travis Dodd, former Raiders in Craig Goodwin. There's a lot of big names. How special was that for you to be able to get that honour?
Yeah, it's a very proud moment. It's one that I certainly didn't expect and wasn't chasing. So I signed the same length deal as Craig and was quite happy operating with him as a team. And obviously he got the opportunity to move on, and then Cole tapped me on the shoulder and believed I was the best man for the job. So it's a very proud moment for me. Like Birkalla, Adelaide United means so much to me. I remember being back here day one, that first game against Brisbane Strikers, and sometimes I still have to pinch myself that, I have got the opportunity to wear the armband, and it's something I'm really proud of, and I'm sure later on when I finish playing football, I'll probably reflect on more.
Well, Friday night is the final game in South Australia at home at Cooper Stadium. Still got a couple more to go afterwards, but how excited are you? Nesta's last game here. We know how much everyone's loving him. There's a lot of love in the air for him, and especially from the young fans as well. How excited are you to play one more time in front of the support from the South Australian fans?
Yeah, super excited. I think the way Nesta's been able to engage the community has been massive for our club, and I'm hearing it's going to be close to a sellout tomorrow night. So considering the position that we have been in this season, obviously, we are still breathing and we still believe, and it's just going to give us that extra push that we need. This is such an important game for us. Not just an opportunity for the fans to see Nesta one more time, but it's really pivotal for our season that we go out and get the result, and we know that their support that Coopers brings really gives us that energy and that push to get the best result we can.
Well, we can't wait to see how the result goes. Hopefully it's a very positive one. You're going to have the backing of the support. We know how loud it's going to be. So I look forward to seeing the game on Friday night, but also thank you for joining me, mate. It's been a pleasure to have a chat with you, and to wind the clock back to those pivotal years in the winning the Surge Mill. So hopefully we can see you back in the NPL someday. Not too soon, but someday.
No, thank you very much, and credit to you. It's nice to see so much effort being put into the local game. It's a wonderful competition, and there's so much talent there, and we need people devoted like yourself to do it. So well done to you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and maybe we should get a chat with you and Scotty. I'm sure there'll be some great stories between the two of you.
Yeah, that'll be a bit of fun. Probably won't get a word in with Scotty, but we can arrange that.
Absolutely. Well, all the best, and you can get your tickets for the Adelaide United game on Ticketek. Thank you.
Thank you.
What a pleasure getting to chat with Ryan Kitto ahead of their final home game this weekend for the season. And make sure you get your tickets for that game on Ticketek. And what a treat to head down to Cooper Stadium.
What are you doing here, Johnny? I thought you were down at the stadium with the players.
The magic of TV. Well, we better go to a break. We'll be back on the other side to wrap things up. Beauty of the TV. Welcome back to the local game as we head into the final part of the show. Still with me is David Grant. Your beautiful accent, the Scottish accent, is here as well.
Yep, made it past my second ad break. I'm chuffed to bits.
Yes, you're chuffed. We're chuffed to have you still on board as we look towards to the Go Sunny Dollar WNPL on the weekend. Well, it's always a surprising league. You get some great results in there as well, but unfortunately, no results so far for the Salisbury Inter, who are struggling so far this season.
Yeah, not the start I think we observers would have expected from them. I think we thought by this time, we're sort of 3 or 4 rounds in that they might have been a bit further up the table than they are, but obviously something they'll need to address if they want to try and move up the table.
Yeah, definitely. A 2-0 loss to Adelaide City. Definitely not what they wanted on the weekend. And also Metro United, unfortunately, couldn't get the win on the weekend, despite having a really strong set of hands in goals as well, with the Indian international goalkeeper joining the side just only recently as well.
Yeah, that's right. Ellen Bam Panthoy Chanu made her debut for Metro United. Unfortunately, a 3-1 loss, so 3 goals past you on your debut is probably not an ideal start, but hopefully we'll see a bit more of her and they'll pick up.
Yeah, we'll hope they do pick up, just like someone that's been waiting to pick up. They haven't got their first win yet, but they got 2 important milestones this weekend. Their first point in the Go Sunny Solar WNPL in their first year in it, but also their first goal, which ended up being 2 goals as well, from Nina Yamada in Sturt Lions in their 2-2 draw against Adelaide University.
Yeah, almost a victory for them. I mean, I know it's a draw, but it would have felt good for them to get the first point. And the men won as well, of course, their first win. So a good weekend for Sturt. I'm pleased for them.
Absolutely, as we head into the next round of fixtures as well for the Go Sunny Solar WNPL round 4 action. I'm looking forward to all this weekend as the men's take a break on the weekend for the cup round. The women are in full force as we see Adelaide City taking on Flinders United. That looks to be an exciting fixture. Hopefully we can. Adelaide City have been playing very well up until this point.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who wins that one. Should be a tight game, I would think. Not sure I could pick a winner. Not that I'm a betting man.
And also another game, NTC West Adelaide as well. Looking forward to seeing that fixture as well.
Yeah, that should be good. So Grayson Bleschke plays for NTC. She scored 2 in her last 2 games. She'll be hoping to carry that form into the next game as well and see if she can get another goal or 2 in that.
Well, make sure you head out and watch those games this week, or you can watch them on FSA League's YouTube page. But you can't watch these other fixtures on the weekend. It's standalone fixtures there for the women. But the men, you got to head out to. It's the Australia Cup this weekend. Some great fixtures happening with one that looks to be an enticing one up in Port Pirie. Is the one that includes the only team outside the Federation clubs. Elizabeth Downs taking on Northern Demons.
Yeah, look, I love the Cup. I love the fact that, teams from different competitions can play against each other and a chance for a big scalp, and for Elizabeth Downs to take a scalp from the senior competition, if you like. It should be a fantastic game, fantastic atmosphere, and I sort of fancy Elizabeth Downs. I've seen them a couple of times this year, and I watched them last year. They played Adelaide Cobras in the Cup probably about a year ago, and that game was a classic. It ended up going 120 minutes and finished about 4-3. So Downs are an exciting team to watch, and they'll be up for it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Can't wait to see how that goes. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you head out if you can. If you're in Pirie, or go for a road trip. Why not?
Well, why not?
Yeah.
Pack the kids in the car. Everybody head up.
Yeah, let's do it. David's driving, so let's head up there on the weekend. Well, let's drive into a topic which you love talking about. It's history. Well, hopefully you could be writing about this cup. If Elizabeth Downs go all the way, you might be writing about them in 50 years' time, just like you're writing about a grand final win that happened 50 years ago, in 1974. With your latest article, you're now getting into the handwriting and writing articles now.
Yeah, I've always had a bit of an interest in history and sports history especially. So I thought I'd write a little piece for Front Page Football, Australia's premier online magazine. And I thought what I'd do is write an article or a season review of a season gone by. And I picked 50 years ago because I thought there'll still be people around who remember that season. And the information is accessible online. There's lots of scanned newspaper articles and yearbooks and so on. Wow. So the information was quite easy to get.
What made you want to do that though? Because it's not every day you would. A lot of people want to write articles about this weekend, but you'll come back 50 years.
Yeah, well, I guess the current game is well covered, and with all due respect to those who are writing about the game just now, I thought it'd just be a bit different to look back 50 years. And so picking out 1974, it's a bit before my time, but it's a time I can relate to as well. Because I watched football in the 70s. That was when I was a little boy and when I first got into the game. So I could relate to it a little bit, and I just wanted to do something a bit different.
That's fantastic. But you've also got a bug from it now, because not a bad bug, like you're going to run off and throw up, but a bug is in, you want to write more. I don't know where I was going there, but I saved myself. But you got another article which you're starting to work on now as well.
Yeah, I've been doing some research with the Matildas playing China coming up. I've been doing a little bit of research into the history of the Matildas playing in Adelaide, specifically Adelaide, because that's obviously where we are based. They've only played 8 games or so in Adelaide. The first was as recently as 2000 when the United States visited Hindmarsh Stadium. So I just thought I'd do a bit of research into that. And that first article, the 1974 one, has generated more interest than I think myself or the people at Front Page Football expected. So why not continue it and do another retrospective piece?
Well, looking forward to seeing that piece as well. It's a great piece. It's something different as well. I was reading it and I can't help but read it in your accent. I could hear you.
I'd like to hear that, Johnny.
It was interesting to read it in with your voice in my head, but it's saying different. What gave you the style to write that? What influenced your style? A little bit different.
Yeah, so I guess I just wanted to do something that was a bit different to what was predominantly out there, and a retrospective piece was something that not a lot existed. So. Yeah. Well,
a lot of credit to you, mate, for doing that, because it's hard enough to look back at this game, these weeks, and people to write stuff on this, but you got the clock back many times to look back on other leagues. So well done to you, mate, because that's a lot of research to try and find all that stuff.
Yeah, it's very time consuming, but I enjoy it.
Well, Front Page Football is where you can read the article right now as well, and keep up to date with all the other articles soon to come as well. And Front Page Football is where you can find this man with Press for Time. It's Antonis Pagonis.
Interstate first, Johnny, where Louis Detroit scored 4 goals in RPL Leichhardt's 19-1 win over Hazelbrook in the Cup. Moving on to overseas, in Texas, Charlie Grant came off the bench as the Matildas won 2-0 against Mexico, their last match before they come to Adelaide Oval.
Well, thank you, Antonis. You're killing it, and you make my life so much easier. Thank you for that. Well, we'll see you all again next week. Before we wrap things up, though, David Grant, I think people are getting sick of my voice, but it's great to have your voice. It's something different. It's Scottish. It's different. It livens up the mood, doesn't it?
Well, I think it does. I mean, no David, no party. That's what they say. But don't be too harsh in your voice, Johnny. It's look, you should be commended for the work you do, and this program and all of the work you do in media and promoting the game for us. And I know a lot of people watch this, and I think we all appreciate it. So good on you, Johnny.
Well, thank you so much, Matt.
Yeah,
that's an honor coming from you, especially. And I've loved working with you. From our Hills Radio days, hosting a sports show occasionally. You've came in, commentated up there, commentated local NPL, and now we're on a TV show together. How cool is this?
I feel like I've known you since you were a child.
Oh, no, it feels like it. I feel like a child, especially when I'm next to you. Well, thank you, mate. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your cup football, and we'll see you on round 7. I think we'll see you at the big fixture as well, FK Belgrade.
Oh, excellent. Is that an invite?
Yeah, why not? Let's get some chavaps. You go get your chavaps. Go check out the WSL and WNPL this weekend and the Australia Cup. Enjoy your football. We'll see you next week on The Local Game.